Guys, welcome to Better Bachelor. My name is Joker with a face for radio and a voice for print. Tonight, I'm going to talk about the New York Post, the media, after what happened, what was it, last week or about 10 days ago in Uvalde, Texas, where the police kind of sat around and did nothing when a very young man that was armed went into a school. And, all of a sudden the New York Post asks, where are the men of courage? Seems all of a sudden lots of people want to know where the men of courage are. And I think what they fail to realize is that they have been pushing those men out of society and telling them that being strong, being independent, being a critical thinker, being brave, being, independent, just out there doing his own thing, well, that's toxic, you see. Before we jump right into it, let me mention tomorrow on 21 Studios, I will be doing an interview with the Red Man Group. I will be posting it either here on YouTube or over on Locals for those of you that follow me over there, or you can obviously watch it at 21 Studios. I think they set it for around 9 o'clock in the morning or something like that. I don't know because I'm in a weird mountain time. They may have posted it for Eastern Standard, but go check that out over on 21 Studios. They already have the page up. I'll put the link in down below if you want to see it on their page. Otherwise, I'll probably re-upload it here. So Miranda Devine from the New York Post writes, where are the men of courage? Well, as my title says, they're gone thanks to toxic masculinity. And I think this is an important topic, again, because they keep telling men, hey, you have to be feminine and you have to be in touch with your emotions and you have to be able to cry. And if you're brave and independent, then you're toxic. And what you end up getting a bunch of weak men. And then when something bad happens and the men don't come to save the women or the children, they kind of act shocked, like, well, we don't understand. Well, this is what you wanted from men. And once again, men are giving you what you ask for. And once again, of course, they don't know what they want, so they're changing their mind. She says, so we vilify action men, brand chivalry and valor as toxic masculinity. Stamp on the manly virtues that made civilization possible. Then we're shocked when armed cops stand around outside a classroom while children are ended, or when strap hangers watch passively as a woman is assaulted on the subway. What's the answer? Now, if you don't know that video, they actually have the link here. Let me open it in a new tab. And this is... so on the subway, I think in New York City, harm to people has jumped way up. And in a recent one, there was a woman that was attacked by kind of a deranged person, and guys just stood around watching. And when you and look, it's naturally in my DNA to protect innocent, young, helpless children, women, animals. There's just something in men that we're designed to do that. But then when men do something and then they're either given a charge or they're taken to account for doing something, or it wasn't wanted, or they're mansplaining or whatever, guys just say, all right, we're going to stay out of it then, and you get what you ask for. And now, again, you're getting what you asked for. She says, Democrats cynically demonize Republicans over weapons as a motivator for their base. Republicans fall back on hardening security to prevent more school incidents. But Little Rob Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, where an 18-year-old dude went in and ended 19 small children and 2 of their teachers last week, was already pretty hardened. Now let me pause it here. It was already pretty hardened, but a teacher propped open a door that was supposed to be left shut and locked. That's a back entrance. Whoever the school guy that was supposed to be guarding it or something or other, and they may say this, but he didn't do anything, or he wasn't there, or he wasn't paying attention. That's on the fault of a guy not doing his job. And then the police showing up and not knowing what to do and being an absolute cluster F, again, goes to weak men that are not brave. And what ended up happening, for those of you that don't know, is an off-duty Border Patrol guy who was getting his hair cut at a barber, borrowed his friend's 12-gauge pump, jumped in a truck, went there, and went into the school to save his own kids and ended up ending the guy. They say Uvalde considered Consolidated Independent School District had its own 6-strong police force, armed guards, perimeter fencing, and a locked classroom policy according to a security plan posted on its website. Still, the guy that ended all these lives found an unlocked door, and the only thing that might have saved those kids were men of courage and action rushing into the line of fire. Yes, men. Instead, they had multiple police officers milling about outside the classrooms, reportedly for over an hour. And basically, the cops were scared to go in. They didn't want to get hit. Again, weak men. But she says it's missing the point. Armchair Twitter warriors armed with minimal real data ranting about cowardice and drumming up the threats for the police are missing the point. You can't bully people to be brave or nag them into valor. They either are or aren't that way. They either are the first responders of 9/11, running toward danger to save strangers, men who strapped on oxygen tanks to climb 110 flights of stairs to their own endings, or they are not. We used to venerate men like the entire shift of 15 firefighters from Midtown Engines 54 Ladder 4 Battalion 9, whose fading photographs still face the heedless crowds on 8th Avenue. Men with families to live for who rushed to their endings on 9/11 because they believed in a system of honor and duty in which they were destined to be the guardians of the community. Men like Battalion Chief Edward Garrity, 45, firefighters Alan Feinberg, 48, Jose Guadalupe, 37, Leonard Ragaglia, 36, Michael Lynch, 30, Christopher Santora, 23, and fellow heroes. Now their inheritors show up at emergency, and the public throws bottles of urine at them. Social justice warriors and the eager media accomplices smear cops as everyday racists and life enders. ACAB, all cops are bastardos, is their favorite hashtag. Let me just pause here for a second and say this. Again, when there's going to be good cops and bad cops, and good firefighters and bad firefighters, and good people and bad people. But usually the good people, the smart people, the strong people, the people with standards and morals and values, the most intelligent, and the ones that know that they are good at their jobs, they will put up with the least crap. They will quit. They will just walk out if they're given too much of a hard time. The ones that'll stay know that they're probably the lower in the pecking order. They're not as good at their jobs. Maybe they're newer, they're less experienced, and they're going to stay because they know they just can't go get another job easily, as an example. And so what happens is when you get cops that are in some of these areas, whether it's a big city or whether it's in one of the Democrat cities where they say, well, we're going to defund you and you guys are the bad guys, those cops are going to leave for somewhere else, or they're going to quit, or they're going to change jobs, and they'll become just your everyday normal citizen. And the only ones left are the ones that are just there to collect a paycheck. They feel no duty or honor or sense of honor for community or people's safeties. You get the dregs left over. The same thing is happening in the dating scene. And I actually have a video that I'll pop over to here in a second. I have a video here that I'll pop over to in a second if it's going to load. And it's from...
Up to a girl.
Let me pause it here. It's from a site or a YouTuber here named Modern Women Archives. And these are women saying, where are the men? Well, you chased them out. You're chasing them out of society. She says, we pathologize manly virtues and bow to the tyranny of identity politics that seeks power by overthrowing a make-believe patriarchy. We raise boys in a soup of reproach and negativity that tells them that their intrinsic nature is diseased. Traditional masculinity is psychologically harmful, the American Psychological Association declared in 2019. These were the masculine attributes it listed as diseased: stoicism, competitiveness, dominance, aggression, anti-femininity, achievement, eschewal of the appearance of weakness, and adventure, risk, and violence. So if you like risk, if you're adventurous, if you're stoic, if you avoid being feminine, if you are dominant, if you have some aggression. And aggression can be bad, but it can also be good. You need that aggression to have a guy that'll charge into battle to protect his country or his loved ones. Competitiveness. I mean, that in and of itself is I would say a good thing. We're in a society now where no one is competitive at all. Everybody just wants to get along, and you end up usually promoting the worst of the worst to get them out of the way, and they end up being in charge. I know this for a fact because I was in the military. They say the only acceptable man now is a man who wants to be a woman. We celebrate pregnant men and chest-feeding men. You see, in the drive to destroy masculinity, we've had to erase women as well. And she says we're in a masculinity crisis. We ignore the crisis that sees men end themselves at ever-increasing rates or succumb to illicit substance abuse and spicy video addiction, while savvy young women graduate from college in disproportionate numbers. And I don't even need to click on that link. It's about 60-40 women ahead of men. So about 60% of the graduates of college are now women and 40% of men. Trained from childhood to be entitled and unrealistic about relationships, their fertility, and the sacrifices and joys of motherhood, many become bitter and blame men for their confusion. Along the way, we emasculate the institutions that were necessarily masculine for our protection, notably the military. As an example, on Wednesday, the U.S. Marines celebrated the LGBTQAAIP plus 2 parentheses exclamation mark upside down question mark month by tweeting a picture of a combat helmet adorned with rainbow-colored bullets. And if you guys watch my live stream that I did over on Locals last night, I talked about this. So what do men do? They recoil and they retreat. They leave the stage for hysterical epsilon men like Beto O'Rourke, who whine and posture but can't protect a thing. Then when we need strong, quick-thinking Gary Cooper to save us from the outlaws, he's nowhere to be found. He has been rendered extinct, leaving 19 kids to be ended inside a classroom, while men and women wearing the legacy costume of toxic masculinity stand around waiting for orders. We make men without chests and expect from them virtue and enterprise, C.S. Lewis foretold in his dystopian 1943 book, The Abolition of Men. We laugh at honor and are shocked to find traitors in our midst. We castrate and bid the geldings be fruitful. I know it's a little bit of a kind of a artful long piece, but her main point does strike true. We tell men that if you're any of these positive, what I consider to be positive masculine traits, that you're actually negative, that you're toxic. But then we go on to cheer men that, want to equate themselves equal to women, or they're in touch with their feelings, or that they cry at a drop of a hat. And it's not to say that men shouldn't be emotional, but we need to find a positive outlet for that emotion, and that in and of itself is stoicism. It is virtue. It is caring for others. But we're training the next younger generation of men to be weak and to be, subservient. And that women are the strongest, most capable, smartest, ass-kicking, lead character in the movie or in real life. And so is it any wonder that men say, all right, well, if you're so great, you can handle problems yourself. Handle it yourself. You don't need me. And when you tell men enough or often enough that you don't need them, and they say, okay, we'll listen to you, we'll go away, you can't just spin around 180 and go, where were you? Why aren't you here protecting us? Why have you abandoned the community? It's literally what these women ask for, and these leftists ask for, and then when men do it, surprise Pikachu face. I want to show this graphic here, and then I'm going to do the video that I was talking about. And this is from Sesame Street. I watched Sesame Street when I was, I guess, 4, 5, 6, whatever it was, years old. And this is from Sesame Street, just posted here this year, a couple months ago. Billy Porter bringing those fierce vibes to Sesame Street. His fierce vibes is the top half, a very tight-fitting tuxedo. It looks like he has lip gloss on. And the bottom half is a dress. This is not a man that's going to run in and protect someone or go into a building that's on fire or defend someone's honor, he'd trip over his own pettiskirts. You know, if you went in to help a kid that was caught in a burning building or something or other, his own dress would get caught on fire. Let me do this video here. And again, this is from YouTuber Modern Women Archives. Not sure how big the channel is. He doesn't show how many subs he has on here. But this was just posted earlier today. And I want you guys to hear this because I think it's accurate. But the women have told men, look, we don't like you jeering at us or talking to us when we don't want you to talk to us, or looking at us or staring at us or appreciating us. It's toxic. So again, men have said, okay, if this is what you want, we'll step out of the way. And now all of a sudden it's, well, why don't men ask me out anymore? Why don't men pay attention to me anymore? And women are coming to the realization, well, I guess I'm going to have to ask men out. And what's funny is when they do, I have a feeling a lot of men will turn them down, and they can get to feel what it's like for rejection. So let me play a couple minutes of this. It's only about 2 minutes long.
Question for you guys. What's going on with guys not approaching women anymore? Like, if I make eye contact with you and you're checking me out and you're staring at me for like 10 minutes, I don't know, maybe stop being creepy and come up and say hello? I don't know. Food for thought. Like,
let me pause it right there. There's her soap. There, she says it all right there. If you're staring at me and looking at me and checking me out, but you're not coming up to me, you're creepy. Now, if a woman says, hey, quit looking at me, you're creepy, just come over and talk to me, that's a very mixed message, wouldn't you say? Can you imagine saying that to a girl? Quit staring at me, you're creeping me out, just come over and talk to me. Like, I get her point. She's like, but here's the thing. You've trained men to where if a man goes up and greets a woman, he may be called a creeper. He may be she may take his photo or his information and put him on blast on social media. If maybe he's not up to her looks standards, because obviously she's talking about somebody that she would like to talk to. But a guy doesn't know if she wants to talk to him. It's a gamble. And if you're an average dude, you might be saying to yourself, man, she's kind of cute. She keeps seeing me look at her, but I'm not going to go up and talk to her because she's probably going to call me a creep and put me on blast on social media, so I'm not going to do it. Wants no part of it.
why aren't you guys approaching women anymore? Like, I was at a bar and everyone is in their own groups, not approaching strangers. Like, not one guy, not even just for me, not one guy went up to a girl and just started talking to her. It was so weird. And I'm like, how am I supposed to meet people?
Not my...
You're not supposed to meet people. This is your own doing. And you notice, like she said, it's not just to her, it's all guys are not approaching any women. The guys that are good looking and attractive and have it going on, they're on Tinder, probably smashing all the time. They get all the ladies. Their dance card is full. They have no more room for other women until they get bored of one of their other ones. The dating guys call it spinning plates. And that's kind of being in the old circus. You'd have the stick with a spin a plate on it, and you'd wiggle a stick until that plate spins, and it'll spin for 30 seconds or a minute without you touching it, and then you have to run back over and spin it a little more. Well, these popular guys will have 4, 5, 6 plates, 4, 5, 6 women, all going at the same time, texting this one, messaging this one, hooking up with this one, making out with this one, going on a date with this one, and they have a stable full of women. They have too many women to deal with. So until they get rid of one or two, they have no more room for these women. So those guys are off the table or are pretty hard to catch. You know, the top 10 percenters. The rest of probably the next, 20, 30, 40% of guys are like, nah, I can shoot my shot. I'll probably get shot down and get made fun of or get called out or, get the cops called on me and be called creepy. I don't want it. But they're still interested in dating, so they go to the safe haven of online dating, on the app dating. And then there's probably, I would say, between 30 and 50% of men that are just like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. But again, you get what you ask for. And she's noticing it. And again, she's not an unattractive girl or young woman, I guess I should say. But this is kind of what you asked for. Let's see what the next one has to say.
Not my problem. So it's been brought to my attention that men no longer want to come up to women anymore. Due to sex allegations, women being just so rude and disrespectful, and rejection. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know men didn't want to come up to women anymore. I'm barely finding this out. Why do women choose to cuss guys out when they come up to them and approach them? I have no idea. I apologize for that. But there's just too many fine men. And if it takes me, the women, having to come up to you guys and shooting my shot, saying what's up, being the big stepper, then I'll just have to do that. And
Yeah, here's the thing. Okay, now, obviously, she sounds like kind of an average woman that's like, I don't have anything to do with this. I'm not a hater. This is new to me. Why do women do this to men? And then she says, I guess I'm going to have to be the big one and step up and ask these dudes out. I got news for you, gal. The problem is she's going to be like most other women, which is she's only going to go for the best of the best of the best. She's not going to ask out somebody that's appropriate for her looks and her age and her bracket. She's going to shoot her shot high, and she's going to get kept being turned down. Or again, a guy may smash and then decide to move on. And then she's going to get bitter and she's going to be angry about it. But she's not even, quote, part of the problem, so to speak, but she's feeling the effects of this problem. Let's hear from another one.
Go for it.
Ladies, I know it's scary, but go ahead and ask out that guy. Last night, I asked out the guy that I've liked for such a long time. I did that. And did he say yes? Absolutely not.
Frankly, I don't think you're my type. Out.
Real men.
So, and again, this is from Modern Women Archives, so good on you for that. I don't have the patience to put collections like that together, but I appreciate him doing that. But this is where we are. And she shot her shot, and she got rejected. She liked him for the longest time. Men have to go through that. But the roles are here's the funny thing. Women have ruined this so much for men, and it's ruining it for society. It's ruining the protective men, the strong men, the dominant men, the aggressive men, the men that will just stride up to a woman and ask her out, go on a date with her, protect her, help her, pull over on the side of the road to help her fix a flat. Guy did that, and she made false claims against him. It cost him his marriage. It cost him tens of thousands of dollars to defend himself, and only a video camera at a gas station showed she was lying. But what if that video didn't exist? That guy would have been toast. And that one incident from that one woman will make men think, what if that happens to me? What if that happens to me? Is it worth me risking my career, my family, my relationships, maybe my job, my good name? I might even get thrown in jail on this to help a woman change a flat tire? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I don't think so, sir.
And lastly, I'll wrap it up with this. And these are a couple screenshots that I grabbed off Reddit. And this is from a Jenny G and a response by Alicia R. Jenny G says, I miss the traditional families from like the 50s. I think that's how things work the best. A man working, a woman staying home, cleaning, cooking, and raising the kids. It's society that has made it to where a woman is a failure for being a stay-at-home mom. Now they're stressed to the max. Kids are being raised by their school, and men come home to a chaotic house while being belittled by a stressed wife. Then on top of that, technology, social media, etc., has made a culture to where you can move on to someone else so easily. No need to be tied down to just one man or one woman. Men are turning to men or guys going their own way. Women are on meds and turning into blue-haired cat ladies. I wish males would be gentlemen and females would be ladies. It started with the women, and men are responding to the women's market right now. Men are responding to what they're being told and what they're being taught by, again, movies, society, commercials, TV shows, the media, social media, high school, middle school. And this Alicia R. responds, Jenny G., I'd love to be a stay-at-home wife and eventually a mom, but here I am working 40-plus hours a week, stressed out to the max. I can't get pregnant because of stress, probably, and always too tired to do anything. Thank you, feminists, for making women today overworked, fatherless, and miserable. And when she says fatherless, I think she's talking about the kids that she might have. So, again, this is another case, and I do a lot of these videos where it's ladies, you're getting what you asked for. And even the ladies that didn't ask for this, you're not standing up and speaking back out against the crazies. You just silently sit on the bench. You say, hey, I'm not one of those women. It's men's problem, or it's the crazies' problem. I'm going to stay out of this. And then when the men try to speak up, they're told patriarchy and bad and racist and all the other isms. And guys just say, I'm not, you know what? Just leave me alone. It's not worth the fight. And then when the good women can't find a good man and they meet players or they meet dudes that are too shy to ask them out or and won't protect the family and won't protect the community, don't want to sign up. You know, during WW1, WW2, there were guys that were 15 and 16 stealing their brothers' IDs so they could go sign up to fight the Germans. Not anymore. Now you got 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-olds that cry when they're called the wrong pronoun. You get what you ask for. You get what you ask for.